The National Football League had to move around 8 total games to accommodate the fact that the Broncos-Patriots game needed to be postponed because there was a new positive test. That was as of yesterday. A new positive test for the Patriots yesterday, a new positive test for the Titans yesterday. That's Sunday. As of Monday, the good news is this. Patriots, no new positive cases. Titans, no new positive cases. And here's the thing to keep in mind. The Titans haven't been in their facility for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They were there briefly one day last week. To have somebody test positive over the weekend, it doesn't fit with any type of timeline that would apply to when they were in the building together.
Right.
Same thing with the Patriots. The player who tested positive yesterday hadn't been in the building since the prior Friday, except for a brief amount of time this Friday, and it's not long enough to go through the incubation period. So, here's the reality. Guys are catching this out in the communities.
Yeah.
If you haven't paid attention, the numbers are going up. And unless and until the NFL finds a way to keep guys from getting it in the communities, they are going to get it in the communities, and they're going to test positive. And there may be a cluster of guys who test positive on the same team who have never given it to each other.
Yeah.
They're all getting it elsewhere, but it looks like an outbreak. The Titans at this point, these positives, the most recent one, not part of the outbreak. The Patriots don't believe they have an outbreak. The only way that they think their guy may have gotten it would have been last Monday night in that dinky locker room in Kansas City. That's the only path that would have been plausible and logical for the player who tested positive Saturday to have ended up catching the virus, Chris.
Yeah, we'll see where this goes. I mean, we know it's out there in the community. I mean, yes, it's out there. We got to worry about it. Just guys getting it outside the football facility, whatever that is. Again, I'm just worried. We're running out of wiggle room already. Here we are. I mean, I don't know how much wiggle room we have after all these moves we saw. I can't even keep up with all the schedule changes they made this week. I'm just going to watch football games when they're on. I don't really know. But, I feel, again, for teams like Buffalo, I don't – this is where, to me, it's totally unfair to those teams. Pittsburgh went through it last week. But here's Buffalo going to play on Tuesday night, play a short week Monday night game now. They gave them one extra day and moved it to Monday night, but still a short week. And then play another short week because they played Monday night because now they'll have to play Sunday again. And so they're going to have 3 consecutive games affected because of one team. And again, to me, that's not fair to the other teams. And that's where I'll continue to go back to until we get in a bubble or they just give these teams a loss and move on.
They're never going to do that. They're never going to give forfeits. Unless there is some sort of egregious, over-the-top, deliberate violation of protocol, they're not going to give forfeits because I think they still would have to pay the players, and they don't want to pay the players for forfeited games that aren't played. If games aren't played, they want to cancel them with no winner and no loser. That's one of the main reasons why there won't be forfeits. But Chris, look, I just want to nudge back.
Yeah.
The Bills had 2 extra days to get ready for this game that is still on for Tuesday night, especially now the Titans have had no new positives. They don't have to do the 4-day turnaround for the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs don't have to either. The Chiefs get a little benefit here. They get a little extra time
That's what I
to get
mean.
ready for your boy Blue.
All right.
But the Bills don't have to go Sunday to Thursday this year. They go Sunday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Monday, Monday to Sunday. You may have some folks who would say, you know what, I'll take that over a Sunday to Thursday turnaround.
Yeah, you know what? I can't lie. I forgot they were originally supposed to play the Thursday game. So you're right. And now I have to do the math in my head to figure out how many games that would be in 3 days as compared to this. They're still going to play 3 games, all right, in the next 12 days, right? And I don't know if that would have gone shaken down that way if they had kept the schedule the normal way. I don't think it would have. But either way, it's just tough. And again, we're getting to like what you've said all along. Bye weeks are going away. And here we are, and I just don't know where this all goes, and I worry about it from that aspect.
Here's what the league's trying to do. The league is trying to get 17 weeks, 256 games. And what happens is, somebody told me this yesterday, whenever there's a glitch in the matrix that is the NFL schedule, there's a button that Howard Katz, the schedule guru, presses that kicks out all the options. If you have to move this game to here, what other things must you do to make it work?
Right.
So it's not like somebody's sitting around with a giant spreadsheet with all the schedules cross-referencing. They've got They've built into the hardware, or the software as the case may be. The software is the thing that's in the hardware. But you know who we mean. They've built in a program that allows them to find out immediately. So you pick a game. We got to move this game. What else has to happen to accommodate it? And that's all premised on bye weeks being still around. Once the bye weeks go away, it becomes impossible to move games around unless you have somebody play 2 games in the same week, which is never going to happen. So they are resisting going to that 18th week as long as they can. It's in play. It's definitely in play, but they're not going to do it until they have to do it for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, once they start doing it, you may get some teams that kind of exhale a little bit and think we don't need to be as vigilant.
Right.
We've got some buffer. We're okay. Hey, you know what? Maybe we'd like another bye week. Hey, it's not that bad of a thing if we have to play an extra game at the end of the season. It'd be nice to have another week off. No, you don't want that, because then what happens is you only have limited opportunities for that 18th week. All it takes is one team that would have to reschedule 2 games, and week 18 becomes week 19. And I think, they don't even want to go there.
Yeah.
And even mention week 19 until they absolutely positively have to. And they don't want to get to week 18 until they absolutely positively have to. I think they can add 2 more weeks to the season if they need to. I think it's constructed in a way that allows it to happen, and you still get the Super Bowl in at some point in February.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do that. And the other thing, too, is, and we talked about this last week, if you tack a week on to the end of the season and the teams that earn the first-round buys don't play, that 2-week break becomes a 3-week break, and I don't know if that's good for anybody. No. So Chris Mad Dog Russo's idea of taking week 17 and making it week 18 and playing the makeup games week 17, I think makes a ton of sense. And I have a feeling that's what they'll ultimately do. Week 17 becomes week 18, makeup games week 17, assuming we can get it all done in 1 week. But I feel like, Chris, it's coming. It's coming. Look what they had to do just to move Broncos-Patriots from this week to next week. It was 7 total games that got affected by that.
Yeah, I yes, that's what I do worry about. I mean, I don't know. I don't want it to get there, because then I'm afraid that, like to what you were saying a little bit, you start getting into, we're making extra games, everything like that. I want to see the playoffs at their best, and I know we're doing the best we can here at this point to make it all happen, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, the big question was this past week the wake-up call for the rest of the league to kind of go, wait, okay, crap, we all got to get back to, being really strict with this. We all got loose and relaxed a little. Went through 3 weeks, and we just thought, okay, we're beating Corona. NFL's got great protocols, and it fell apart this past week, as we saw. So hopefully this will get players to be a little bit more strict, and everybody maybe think twice about what they're doing.
When the NFL was publishing all of the positive numbers about the negative tests, you're going to get that positive, negative, right? But it was positive that there were so many negatives. A coach texted me, basically, will they please shut up? It's like, what do you mean? You're going to make guys complacent, and it's just a jinx.
Yeah.
You're setting it because there's going to be an issue at some point. And that's the thing. We are getting toward cold and flu season. People are going to be indoors more. They're going to be spreading it indoors. I firmly believe, based upon everything I've heard over the past 7 months, and it's hard to know what to believe because everything seems to conflict at some level, but the more time people are indoors, breathing the air that is getting recirculated, that's the greater chance of catching it from someone. Outdoors, it's a lot harder to have enough of the virus to infect you with it. Indoors, it's a lot easier, and that's what we're moving toward. And so, look, Chris, and this is a point that we made last night on Football Night in America, and I'm glad we did, because I at the risk of sounding like someone who always says nobody's ever talking about this, even though they are, nobody is talking about the subtext between the union and the league.
Yeah.
There's a poker game going on. And they're both putting on their best. Who was the guy in Rounders? Did John Malkovich play? What was his name that ate the Oreos? That was his tell. He twisted the Oreos.
Yeah, right.
Teddy KGB.
Yeah, Teddy KGB, right.
Everybody's doing their best, right? And the NFL does not want, because here's how it works. Collective bargaining. The NFLPA currently has the right to say, our guys live at home. What are you talking about? They just work for you. They're not 24-hour-a-day employees. You want them to go into a hotel for that? Wait, that's what we're doing now? We're changing dramatically how the employment relationship works, and you're going to put them in a hotel for the next 3 months and longer if they make it to the playoffs? Well, let's start the bidding. What is it worth to you to get us to agree to an unprecedented restriction on the freedoms of these individuals to be with their families, to go home, to leave work? Nobody's 24-hour-a-day employee nonstop for 3 or 4 months except the military, and they know what they signed up for when they signed up for it. So the union wants something. The NFL doesn't want to give them anything. The NFL's waiting for the union to eventually realize, Chris, oh, crap.
Yeah.
They cancel games. We're losing our game checks.
Right, that's what
can we do?
Yeah.
What can we do?
Right.
And a GM told me yesterday, and I think this is a very smart point, they are going to have to lose some game checks before they would say, well, okay, you know what? The only way this is going to work is if we go live in a hotel for the rest of the year. And with each passing week, it's less time they'd have to spend in the hotel. So there's a point there. There's a tipping point where games get postponed and maybe can't be made up. Players lose game checks. There isn't much time left in the season. Okay, fine, we'll go into a hotel.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, I mean, you're right. It's most likely going to take that for the players to change. The other thing I'll say, and we'll see where that goes. I hope it doesn't get to that. But I would hope that the NFL right now is also making arrangements for, like, the playoffs to be that way. I really would. Get to the playoffs. We can't be doing this. You're in the playoffs. You're in a bubble. Sorry. We'll see when the playoffs are over for everybody, family, friends, everything like that. I just think that's another thing that's got to be discussed as we go forward, so we're not, playing a wild card weekend and then, hey, it's 3 weeks later. Welcome to divisional weekend here. We haven't played football in 3 weeks, but here we go. Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll see great top-end playoff type football that way. So I worry about that too. We'll see what happens.
Well, 2 quick points though.
Yeah.
One, there's a belief among some coaches you won't need to have an agreement between the league and the union for a playoff bubble because the teams that give a crap, they're all going to go stay in a hotel.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's just for a few weeks.
Right.
Let's go do it. We're chasing a legacy here. We want a Super Bowl ring. We'll do it. And secondly, this idea that keeps getting thrown around from time to time, and I see it all over the place, just pressing pause on the season for 2 weeks to figure out what's going on. How do you keep guys in football shape? Like if you have 2 or 3 weeks between playoff weekends, 2 or 3 weeks until they come back. Because you can't just shut down all the facilities because you know what's going to happen? Tom Brady and his guys are going to show up at some high school in Tampa.
Right.
And there ain't going to be any cameras around this time like there was last week in Nashville.
Yeah, that's been my argument against that all the time. It becomes a player safety issue once again. One, it's not going to stop anything as far as the spread is concerned. The players know they're still going to be held accountable to what they're doing on the football field. So, Chris Simms, 29 years old. I'm in that shoes. Hey, guys, I'll see you over at, Ramapo High School later today. Let's go throw some balls. Let's throw some balls. Let's get some work. DBs, you guys want to come over here too? Cover, get some work, one-on-ones, do all that stuff. So, yeah, of course the players are going to do that. I don't think that will do anything delaying the season, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, they just got to figure this out on the fly and keep being very strict with protocol.
To summarize, goal number 1, get all 256 games played in 17 weeks. Fallback number 1, an 18th week. They don't want to go there until they absolutely positively have to. And I believe there's a week 19 lingering that they definitely don't even want to put on the radar screen until they first have to go to an 18th week. And it feels inevitable. When you look at all the dominoes that fell to move one game yesterday, Broncos-Patriots, by 1 week, it just shows you that the next one may be the one where they just say, we got to play an 18th week to this season.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.